Hello, welcome. My name is Kat. This is my channel, Kat Can Sew, and this is episode number 5. Today's going to be a bit of a recap from Frogwarts, as well as I have a bunch of finishes because of Frogwarts. It is a couple of days late. It's the 20th today. Took me a couple of days to recover from Frogwarts. It is kind of insane. So there probably won't be a video next Monday. I can be found on Instagram under Kat Can Sew. There is a bunch of my progress photos from the Frogwarts Year 4 band sampler. But I'm still getting there. It's been a week. I didn't post last week because the only thing I had basically worked on was the band sampler for Year 4. Which you will see in a minute. I got 12,000 stitches done on that in 2 weeks. I'm really impressed. I literally got it finished. I got the last stitch in during the last stitch challenge during Frogwarts with just a tiny little bit of back stitch left to go. I was done by like 2:15. And it had to be done by 2:30. So, yeah. So otherwise, life's been pretty cool. California has really, or LA has really decided to be summer, and we have had a bunch of days in the high 90s. And that's going to continue for the next week. I kind of miss being at work though, because it's been insane, but I like these kind of days. Except I'm not dealing with the heat, so I'm appreciating that. I've done yesterday was the first day I stitched since Sunday. Let's talk about Frogwarts. So anybody who's not aware, I'm going to do a really quick overview. Frogwarts is a virtual retreat done by Black Needle Society that is done in usually July, which is based on Harry Potter. This year was Year 4, Goblet of Fire. So it was the World Cup, it was the Triwizard Tournament, and over the course of the weekend, we have Quidditch games, which are digital dives. So we, or actually digital and dash, where we are given a list and we are finding items on that list. It will be, patterns including different terms. Katie, when she breaks them down, she does each of them by theme. So like the first one was the World Cup. So we were looking for a bunch of finishing fabrics based on different countries. There is an unscramble, which I can't remember what it was for the first one. And patterns. I became our team captain. So this year, instead of being house teams, we were world teams, and I was the captain for Canada. Our first round went terribly. Well, not terribly. We didn't do too badly, but there was a lot of trying to confirm the rules. We did better the following days. We did not get the snitch on any of those days. Australia got it twice, and Denmark got it twice, and Denmark pulled it off overall. They just got a couple of better days. But overall, I had an amazing team. We were about half of us were from my Frogwarts house. We really used that communication. We really used those Facebook chats. Came up with things that made work for us, and overall we just had an amazing team. And while I was captain, we had 3 people on that team who very easily could have taken over that role, but they didn't want it. So I was kind of the one who took it over, and I kind of was herding the team, making sure that they knew what was going on and asking questions and things like that. but I was really not the strongest player on our team. We had a couple of very strong players on our team, and they are amazing. There was also over the course of the weekend were stash dives. I don't think outside the box enough. I had one of the prompts on, I think Saturday was night. I don't have anything night. I realized yesterday I have a pattern that is called Aurora Borealis. It is a night sky with an Aurora Borealis. That would have worked. Things like that. I just don't think outside the box enough. I did okay on those. I was averaging at about 10 out of 20. I think I had one day where I got like 13, 14. Digital dives, which is where we're looking for those items on the internet. I kept having computer issues, but I worked out what that is, and hopefully I will remember for next year, and that won't happen again. I had one day where I would have got pretty close to the highest score, and because I had an issue with uploading, I ended up coming out really low. I only had like 90 points instead of like 150 points. So it's a big drop. Overall, I was part of Ravenclaw Common Room, and we were the team that took it out over the course of the weekend. We were really close. There was a really close with the Gryffindors. It was basically a competition between the common rooms because that was the one, but we were the ones that were the most. I happened to be in the same chat rooms with like the people from those teams, and it was hilarious. We were giving each other hard times all weekend. And in saying that, actually, one of the members of the team that like we beat by 85 points was one of my biggest cheerleaders, and I got that finish, which gave me 100 points, which I think is what got us over the line. But overall, I said I got a bunch of projects finished. I got 5 finishes over the course of the week. Including Frogwarts Year 4 and Year 3. So I will show those to you in a minute. I spent a lot of time in the chat rooms, mostly with the ones with the Australians. I don't know how they do it. They were starting at like not even midnight and going through to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon and only getting a couple of hours sleep. I love you all. I hope that they all sleep better now. I don't know how they do it. I was running on 3 hours sleep as well. I'm not a morning person, so the 7 a.m. starts were not great for me. I'm more likely to be going to bed at 6 than getting up at 6. But overall, it was an amazing weekend. I got to talk to some great people. Everybody's in there encouraging each other. I was convinced I was not going to get that band sampler finished, and we were in there going, "Go, you can do it!" Even in my chat with my team, we're like, "Yeah, you can do this." Every time somebody's posting a finish, it's like, "Yay, amazing!" So, yeah, just even though we're competing against each other, we're also just building each other up, and like, you can do this. Like, it may seem like it's not going to happen, but you can do this. So I need to thank the Black Needle Society for running this, because realistically, this is amazing. It is crazy. My husband's like, "Why do you do this to yourself?" But I love every minute of it. Well, maybe not the bits where I'm super tired and grumpy, but I enjoy the games. I enjoy being in the chat rooms. Just the having a chance to meet people and not this week coming, not this weekend, like 3 weeks time, I'm actually going to a in-person retreat with the Black Needle Society, which reminds me I need to work on my secret project, which will be my smallest exchange for that. You won't see that one until it's finished. I'll take photos of it and include it in my video when I get back after the smallest exchange. But let's go into what I got finished this week. So my first finish that I did was Sea Turtle by Pinecone Mickey. And here we go. This is stitched on Smack the Jellyfish by Live and Die LA. This one is actually not staying in my collection. This one is going into the business collection as a stitched model on one of our fabrics. I only had, sorry, I didn't bring on my page. So I had, going into the weekend, I only had like 280 stitches. But over the course since my last video, I got 577 stitches. I would have already added where I was before the weekend. But that's just a really cool design, and it took me exactly 4 months. I use Stitch Pal, which I just downloaded out of the I was looking for a stitching tracker, and that's one I found. And I started on the 17th of March and I finished at the 17th of June. And that's just really cool. My next finish is ink circles. So this is a freebie off the website. This is from the 2006 collection, is the January Celtic Knot. And here's where I was. And here we go, finished. Hopefully that is clear. I got 266 stitches on it. I actually had getting really close to the end, I found an error and I had to go back and fix it. But overall, so this is stitched on Hella 28 count Lagana in Easter Pre. This was a test, so it is lighter than the original, than the one that we sold as our floss of the month. It does occasionally come up at Easter. Next up is Tiny Modernist's vintage sewing set, which is stitched, here it was, and actually I think it's probably going to go over this side. I cannot remember which side I put it on. So this is stitched on thin ice, and I converted the colorway to a custom dyed purple. So this is, the darkest purple is violet, which was one of our advent colors, and then I made a medium and a light to go with it. I did 203 stitches, which was finishing off this border here. But there we go. So I have both the pincushion and the scissor fob. I need to buy a finishing fabric to go with that, and then I will actually probably finish these as a pincushion and a scissor fob. It's not going to happen in the next couple of weeks. For the next 2 weeks, I am mostly focusing on getting some cosplay finished. I'm going to go see Haunted Mansion and as part of the fan event, and I plan on cosplaying. And I just have to fix my parasol and my bodice. Next up is my next two, and will be my first of my whips for the show as well. So first up, we're going to do year 3. So here is what it looks like, and here is the finish. This is stitched on 28 count French vanilla mistake Lagana. It is actually a little light for the white. So I am going to go back and back stitch around a lot of the white elements just so they pop, but that will probably happen either when year 2 or 1 get called for Whipco or for the mood strikes. So there is year 3. All I had left to do was the purple in the band. So you can't see it. There is some etoile and some sparklies in that. I had just over 1,000 stitches left on it, and so that one is finished. And then my last finished for the weekend was year 4. And here we go. So that was 12,000 stitches. So I had, when I showed it last week, 2 weeks ago, I had 365 stitches done, and now it is 100% finished. I am starting to backstitch. Like I backstitched around a couple of the sails. It's not much, but it's just enough that you can see the white. I still have to do the backstitch around Malfoy and the spines on the dragon. And it says, what's coming will come and we'll meet it when it does. The Hagrid line. So there's some etoile in the hoops, in the flame, in Moody's eye, and the egg. And then I use a little bit of blending filament in the spells just to make it sparkle. It shows up much more in person than it does on camera. So that's where we're at so far. So my next whip is Frogwarts Year 2. I use that for 2 of the stitching challenges, and I used the wrong color red. So I'm going to have to frog all of this top half diamonds. It should be the bottom red. So this is cherry tomato and this cherry cobbler, and I use cherry tomato. It is about 3 lengths, so it's going to take me a little while to do, which is part of the reason it hasn't been done yet. All up, I did like 400 stitches on it, but about 200 of those are going to have to 423, and of that 200 something's going to have to come out. So to be honest, it's probably going away until either 1 or 2 get called up for Whip Go, and then I'll probably work a little bit on both times it gets called. I don't know whether I'm going to try and push to get one of these finished next year. It is a nice big number to get. I do have a bunch of projects that I'm hoping to have done by next year, so I may not stress so much about those. They are good for prompts during the stitching challenges over the course of the weekend. Hopefully I have been remembering to post. Actually, you know what? So here are the 4 designs. So that is year 1. I didn't work on that this weekend, but that's where it is. Year 2, so that's the one I'm working on the band for. Here is year 3 that I finished. And here is year 4, which is also finished. I am keeping all of these in my project bag, which is the year 3 Prisoner of Azkaban project bag. It has all my flosses. It currently has my notions, but they can be pulled out because I will need those. The DMC, I use DMC for the quote. I was going to use DMC for the bands and add blending filament, but it was just not fun to stitch. So I pulled it and started a new plan, and it works much better. So now for the rest of my whips. So I still got some work on a bunch of other projects. Let's start with my new start. Adding the bag. So I started this as a prompt for Sunday. I didn't actually use it as a prompt. I did penalty stitches to get my year 4 finished, and I'm glad I did. So this is Royal Games 1 by Mirabilia, and I am stitching it on French Vanilla Mistake, and I am now paranoid that I am stitching it sideways. No, I'm not. So here we go. It's 28 count. I got about 260 stitches in there, all of which is hair and the flowers in her head. This will probably get put on the back burner until Red Lady Pirate is finished, but it will get work done occasionally. It's in my wheel of I'm terrible at making decisions, so I put tiny decisions on my phone, and I have 2 lists. I have one for projects to work on in the living room and one for projects I work on in here. So anything in Q snaps that can go into the Lowry is in the living room. Anything that's on the floor stand or big is in here. Rapunzel and Rococo and Happy Haunts in here, but they're not on the floor stand. Next is that's this one. So that is all kitted on Ginger Stitch AU floss drops. So I am appreciating the floss drops more. I'm also getting to the point where I'm not getting the ridiculous odd lengths of floss, because I am getting to the point where my stuff has been cut specifically for the project I'm working on. Next was koala cards. I had started this before. You've seen this once before. I am working on so here's what it looks like, and here's where I was. Just because this one's a pain to pull out to show. I also have a ton of needle minders on here. So I'm only 118 stitches more than what I did, but I did over 200 and then realized I was using the wrong color. So I had to frog half of my baby koala. So I did all of the grey. I also did the lighter grey, but I did it in a darker grey. So that all got frogged. So it's not very much, but it's a little bit of progress. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish these. I'm probably going to frame them. But the pattern, the design in the magazine calls some koala cards. Again, these are in my so this is in the koala project bag and kitted on Adam Hart Flosstube. Her new colours dropped today, and I may be looking at more because they're really cool. I really like them. Next up is Celtic Christmas. I worked on this for one of the prompts. I did 273 stitches, which is only an hour, and I worked on these sections here. So it was about 3 lengths, and then I have another length that will go into it. This will probably go into the floor stand today, actually, but it'll probably get worked on next week. So I'm now at 52% on this. So I did like 2%. And I moved this one into Black Needle Society March family project bag from the Nice Box. I have printed stickers to kit this. I'm going to kit this and Mirabilia, but I haven't got there yet, just to make my life a little bit easier because it really does. And last up, this was one of my whip go calls for this month. This is Tingles, series by Lizzie Kate. I finished October 31. So I just had to add the 31 and the design underneath, and I started just batty. I will post. So I did October 31 and just batty. I am doing this version, which is there was a free border instructions on Lizzie Kate's website, and that's the format I'm using and adding the extras from there. I do have the whole series of these. I got these as part of a Stitches and Spice when they were clearing out their stock when they closed down. And I'm stitching it on 28 count Jubilee Manor House, and man, I missed Jubilee being available. So just a little firmer than Jubilee, a little thicker than Lagana. So I have finished Ghosties and Ghoulies and Haunted. So those two are done. I am doing the first one on that, and I have finished the first one on that. So I just don't know how to count these as if they're finishes, or if I count the whole project as a finish, or if I count 2 patterns as a finish. So it's a weird little dichotomy right now. I'm doing this in the DMC conversion because I started this like 2016. I don't think I've worked on it since 2016, to be 100% honest. But we're getting there. It came upon WhipGo, which is what I got worked on. It's on my wheel of projects, so hopefully it'll get a couple of days here and there over the course of the year, and we will get closer to a finish. So that is everything I've worked on over the last 2 weeks. I did prep my fabric for my other WhipGo, which is a new start, which is Celtic Snow by, I think, Needlework Expressions. I haven't pulled the pattern out. I am doing that in the Dinky Dyes, and I have all the beads for it. So I'm looking forward to working on that. It's going to be a slightly different project. I haven't worked on a project 100% in silks for a while. I have a little bit of haul. Black Needle Society listed their extras from their novels and needles box, and I only got 3 items. I got the Lord of the Rings Hobbit Hole thread keep. I got the books and film needle minder, which is really cool. Bridgerton should say the Duke and I, because that was the one that was in the original pink cover. But otherwise, it's a nitpick. It's Agatha Christie, Hunger Games, Princess Bride, and Fellowship of the Ring are the other books represented on there, with the popcorn and the film and 3D. I actually watched Hunger Games the other day. I remembered I don't like Mockingjay. So I watched the first 2. And then the last up is the Phantom of the Opera blanket. These blankets are so snuggly. If you watch my Frogwarts unboxing, there was also one in that. So here we go. I will get a photo of it, but it has the chandelier and the roses, candelabra, and the opera house. So, I actually used my Your Ball one to nap under on Sunday after we finished the event. So I like snuggly blankets. I also have my Disneyland 65th one, which is also super snuggly. So I appreciate a good snuggly blanket. Otherwise, sorry for all the ums and ahs. I'm still a little bit trying to get my head around doing these regularly for you guys. Sorry, I'm a couple of days late. As I said, there won't be one next week, because I'm going to wait this weekend. I'm not going to get much stitching done over to now on Monday. Next video will be before Camp Black Needle Carnival. I should have some stitching done for that, though there will be a secret project I can't show. And then I may or may not do one after that. I probably will just do the recap. And the next one will probably be a bit of like prepping for camp. I haven't decided what projects I'm taking. I am taking my floor stand. So it's going to be projects I can take on my floor stand and stuff I can do without my Lowry. I'm not taking my Lowry. It's just a little bit, we are flying. I do have a suitcase allocation, but I'm still limited to what I can fit in the suitcase. I will be taking my light in my carry-on because it's a rechargeable battery and I don't want to have issues with that on the in check luggage. So yeah, hopefully by Monday week I will have decided what I'm taking and be working on like prepping stuff for that. Hopefully next video there will also be a finish, as I still only have 285 stitches left on Sugar and Spice and Everything Nice by Art Designs. That was my last finish I was hoping to get done during Frogwarts. I just ran out of time. So all up, Frogwarts was amazing. I got a ton done. It feels weird because I don't have a ton of projects, but I had like a bunch of. Actually, you know what? There are 10 projects there. I had a ton of projects. It just doesn't feel like it. I think it's because 3 of them are on the same piece of fabric. Um, but all in all, it's been a good couple of weeks. And oh, I forgot to do my stitch time of the week. That'll happen next week. I even worked out which one I was going to eat. But I'm not going to go back and insert it, so that's fine. Have a good week. Keep stitching. Keep working on pretty things. Find your jam. Just find your jam. And have a good week. Ciao.